Well, you've given another result that you got where, and forgive me, I don't remember which person it was, but you did a documentary with them or an interview, and you trusted their time, and they were very guarded with their time, and you wanted to build that trust with them, so you were sure that you were always out when you said you would, and I think you continually went back to them, but you always trusted that the out time was what you had agreed upon.
It's very, very important to respect the time of celebrities. It's important to respect the time of everyone. But if you can get a celebrity out before you said, it's really important. So I have a few examples of this. I was doing a documentary on Bigfoot, one of my career highlights, not really, but so we're doing this thing on Bigfoot for the History Channel, and Donnie Wahlberg was narrating it. I really wanted to try to work with him, and the script was incredibly long, like very long narration. It had really big words in it, like Gigantopithecus. I still remember that word. But basically, it was trying to make the point that Bigfoot existed in ancient times, and here's the proof. And it was actually done like straight, like it wasn't like old Bigfoot videos from like the 60s. This was all like hundreds, thousands of years ago. So Donnie looked at me when he got out of the car, and just like I could just tell, he just looked pissed off. And he's like, dude, this is gonna take all night. And he's like, I gotta be at Blue Bloods. I don't do a good Boston accent. He's like, I gotta be at Blue Bloods in the morning. So I was like, I'll have you out in under 2 hours. And he's like, no effing way. And I go, I promise. I go, if we were not done by 2 hours in, you just get up and leave. Like, seriously, if we're not, just leave. So we did it. I actually had him out in like under an hour and a half. So he was in a great mood. He couldn't believe it, and he's a real professional. And to me, like, especially with narration, I mean, you can mess with it a little bit. I think that's one area where I've seen documentarians maybe get like a little pretentious with narration, that like with their direction of narration. I mean, I'll give you a good example of that, in my opinion. Samuel L. Jackson, the great Samuel L. Jackson, narrated Shack Life. And I brought my oldest son with me to the narration. And at this he was narrating the first 5 episodes in one session, the second 5 in later down the road. So the first 5, everybody was in the studio. I mean, like executives, producers, and people are like, hey Sam, can you emphasize the on this sentence? I mean, hours this is taking of his time. Like he would probably do for a commercial or something. Okay, that was pre-COVID. COVID hits. Samuel L. Jackson's like, I'm not leaving my house to go to some studio. Well, they don't want to suddenly switch narrators midway through the season. That would be weird. So we make an agreement that Samuel L. Jackson is going to narrate on his phone, like on his voice memo notes. So it went from a huge studio to me calling Samuel L. Jackson's wife on her cell, her putting me on the speaker, and me directing him while he's in his kitchen. And you cannot tell and he said to me, he goes, I'm not doing 2 takes of anything. Like unless he gets the name wrong. I said, that's cool. Just need one, just do it, man. He's Samuel L. Jackson. He could sound good reading the phone book. You can't tell the difference. You cannot. I challenge anyone to say, oh, that was read in the kitchen on his cell phone, that was read here. So, there's times when I'm directing narrators that, you could say, hey, can you take a little slower pace? Or this line's a little more emotional. Can you put a little gravity in your voice? Or yes, of course, you can do that. So, but yeah, I try to respect people's time. I had to do that with Snoop Dogg many times. I mean, I had huge shoots in my mind. We had this shoot for the Open planned, tons of money. He showed up and he was not feeling it. He was like, he's got to get home, and he's like, you got 20 minutes. I'm like, 20 minutes? So I thought I had 2 hours. But I was like, all right. It forces you to, okay, what's the most important? I always have a shot list. Okay, we're going to do these shots, these 4 shots. We'll fill in, and if we have time, we'll do some other stuff. So knock those 4 out, And we started playing his music on the loudspeakers, so like he got in a better mood, and then he gave us another 10 minutes. And he appreciated, he's always appreciated that I've respected his time. In fact, another time, I've done 4 series with Snoop Dogg. We were doing, you would think I would have learned at this point. Like I planned another open for a series on I figured it's on Netflix, maybe we could actually shoot an open. And I see him, he's literally falling asleep. Like he's so tired, he's just like out. And he's like, man, I don't think I can do this. And I said, are you sick? Like, what's going on? And that day, it was a Saturday, we were shooting like 5 things that day. We were shooting his main interview. We were shooting like a scene where he's like learning the fate of something. We were shooting him in the studio, and we were shooting an open. The open is really important. We planned it out. It was basically gonna be him driving through Englewood, and then you don't know where he's going, and he lands at a football field. And it's like Coach Snoop comes on. So I said, do you want to just forget it? Because look, it's not worth your health, you know? And he's like, well, how long? I said, dude, just drive to Englewood High School. I'll take care of the rest. Just drive. Literally get in your car, drive. And he was like, all right, I can do that. So, but we had planned out. I put a camera in the front seat. I had a camera mounted here. So, and I know if he's a guy, Snoop Dogg, you put a camera on him, he's gonna do cool stuff. You know, it doesn't, he could be washing his hands. We'll make it look cool. So, and then you get him going, and he gets on board after a while. So I have so many good Snoop Dogg stories, so many. Like, we could just do a whole interview of just me talking about Snoop, working with him. I learned so much from that guy. One of the best people I've ever worked with.